trying.
Okay, go into your video and that's how you'll see it.
40s and 50s out there now. Same idea to start the day tomorrow. Temperatures tomorrow, mid to upper 50s. Lots of clouds, a little bit of sun. Overall, not too bad. We'll talk about rain to some wet snow. Maybe a forecast coming up.
All right, Joe. Thank you. New details tonight. A months-long investigation of police conduct in New Haven. You may remember during one of the Black Lives Matter protests in May, demonstrators.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, Rose. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Okay, I was waiting for another person. We can start the meeting. You can start recording. The Board of Alders, New Haven, the Aldermanic Affairs Committee of the Board of Alders will meet on Monday, October 26th at 6 p.m. via video conference at https://bit.ly/34x5YTA and by phone at 646-558-8656. Webinar ID 970-3161-7220. To hear and act on the following items, for required password, contact public testimony at newhavenct.gov. Item number 1, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Judith Rothschild to the lead advisory commission. Item 2, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Rebecca Corbett to the Affordable Housing Commission. Item 3, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Claudette Kidd to the Affordable Housing Commission. Item 4, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the appointment of Ebony McLeese to the Affordable Housing Commission. Item 5, order of the New Haven Board of Alders approving the reappointment of Norman Forrester to the Parking Authority. Thank you, and I'll have my colleagues who are on with me that are on the committee acknowledge who they are. I'm Alder Santana, Vice Chair of the Chair of the committee.
I'm Yvette Hamilton, Alder from Ward 24 and Vice Chair of the committee.
Jill?
Yes, I'm Alder Jill Marks, Ward 28, Aldermanic Affairs.
And Alder Sabin.
I'm Alder Eli Sabin, and I represent Ward 1.
Thank you. Okay, and we do, can we get Judith Rothschild on the phone now? She is the first person on. Hi, Judith, can you unmute yourself? Hello. Rebecca, we'll be calling you in a little bit. Okay, you don't have to do video right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted.
Yeah, you are unmuted.
Okay.
And good evening. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Good evening, and good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Board of Alderpersons for the City of New Haven. My name is Judith Rothschild. I am here before you on an application to join your lead advisory committee. And you might also know my former name is Decine, recently changed. And I'm here to answer any questions that I may have from you.
I still need your address.
Pardon, business address 80 Washington Street, Hartford, Connecticut. That is recent change of address. I was in the New Haven Housing Court for the last 30 years.
Thank you. And I'd like to acknowledge Alder Clyburn has also joined us. Thank you. Tell us why you feel that you would be an asset to the Lead Advisory Committee. Well,
my experience for the last 30 years with the Office of the State's Attorney has been to handle housing matters. I am the Supervisory Assistant State's Attorney for the Chief State's Attorney's Office. In simpler words, I am Supervisor of Housing Matters for the Division of Criminal Justice. I have also handled New Haven housing matters personally for the first 20 years of my career. I have handled the lead paint cases that came through from the City of New Haven Health Department, for that period of time, and supervised persons within my prosecution unit who have handled it since and through today. And I have also, in my past, been a member of your initial lead advisory committee way back when in the 1990s, and was involved with the insemination of your lead ordinance when it was put together by Corporation Counsel's office way back then. So I have been a longtime person and professional involved with fighting lead poisoning for New Haven, as well as the state of Connecticut generally, and remain keen on doing whatever we can to eliminate this preventable issue for our children specifically and for our adults.
Have you seen a decrease or an increase?
In New Haven?
Yeah.
I don't keep the data. That would be Department of Public Health, but I think that the more testing we do, we've seen some increased cases. We're well aware that there's a lot of older housing stock in our many cities and of our towns, and that is bound to disintegrate and create additional risks. So I mean, we if we look for the cases, we'll find an increase. If we test more, we'll find an increase. And I don't think we have a handle on it quite yet anywhere in our state.
Okay. Thank you. Members, do you have any questions for the candidate, Alder Sabin? Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Vice Chair.
Hi there. Who's first, Alder Santana?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Good evening, Ms. Rothschild.
Good evening.
Alder Hamilton speaking, Vice Chair of the committee. It sounds like you've been in the trenches and you've seen all of the happenings, not only in the city of New Haven with regards to the issue, but all over our state. I feel like it would be a privilege for us to even have you on this commission, honestly. And, you sound like your schedule is busy. Would you have time to chisel this into your schedule, ma'am?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your question. And I'm honored to be asked. I've been reluctant when I was told that this would be an evening meeting in New Haven, because I now work out of Hartford and I live north of Hartford. But as soon as I learned that you were meeting remotely, that being the lead advisory group was remotely meeting, I said yes. And so at this point, I don't see an issue. I'll make the time for you. If it's day or night and I can do it remotely, is making it much easier for me to commit to you. I can come down to New Haven and, as needed to help the health department and such. But these meetings for the advisory committee, I think will be no problem in this method.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for your commitment. Thank you, Madam Chair Santana. I have no more questions for Ms. Rothschild. Thank you.
Alder Sabin, sorry.
No problem. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have one question, which is, you just mentioned that if we did more testing or more inspections, we might find more cases. And I was wondering if you think New Haven needs to invest more in proactive strategies to combat lead poisoning versus reactive strategies where we find out that a kid has tested positive and then we go in and try to do some abatement, and whether you think that we need to shift how we're doing that.
I think any municipality that is not looking at their present housing stock and weighing it up as to lead risks is doing less than necessary for avoiding the poisonings that are likely to come from older properties. And, it's a money thing, and it's an education thing. It's a combination of cooperation between the landlords and the tenants that are in our communities, none of which want this problem. I think, yes, we should stop using children as canaries in a coal mine. And we've done a better job at that since I've been involved, since 1990. But we're certainly in need of improvement because we still have poisonings. So It's tricky, but there are state statutes in place which would allow, say, LCI, who I've worked with closely for years when they were called by other names all the way back to, they have some statutes, and so does the health department outside of the lead regulations by the state, and outside of the New Haven lead ordinance, which would allow the LCI housing officials to be proactive, more proactive about chipping, peeling, flaking, blistering paint, which we know is dangerous to inhabitants, particularly children. We could do better. And we can also, I teach code officials how to do enforcement legally. That includes lawfully getting into properties to do inspections. And I have been quite clear as I've done these trainings, and even as a member of your committee unofficially, when it was just putting together last year, I was sitting in on some meetings. The health department, the building department, the housing LCI division, the fire marshal, the building, I already said building, pardon, zoning. If they have a reason by law to get into the property to do an inspection, they know, for example, a child's had elevated levels of lead. The epidemiological needs to be conducted at the child's residence or places where the child resides. There are legal methods to get in when they can't get in. And to say we tried and walk away is not enough. And so, I'm trained on helping with those remedies. And I'm also the avenue to those remedies, because those applications in the way of administrative warrants to go in to do an inspection are presented to our office for review, then we bring them to a judge. So no child should wait for an inspection to be done to safeguard themselves. And sometimes, enforcement needs to have these avenues reviewed with them and encouraged to use them. It might do a lot to prevent future poisonings, at least.
Thank you for that answer, and it sounds like you will be an asset to the commission. So thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you
Madam
very
Chair.
much. Thank you.
Alder Clyburn.
No, I don't, Madam Chair, at this time. I came in late to this meeting and I haven't had time to go over things, so I don't have a question at this time.
Thank you, Alder Clyburn.
Mhm.
Alder Marks, do you have anything to add?
No, just was listening at everything that she was saying, and I also think she would be a great accent to this here position as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being present this evening. And it seems like from your speaking and talking and what you've done in the past, that you would be a great asset to our lead advisory group. So thank you very much for wanting to do this position.
Well, thank you again. It's a tough job working out lead poisoning and lead risks in the community. I am happy to give whatever help I can lend to you.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, our colleague Misty will get in touch with you, let you know of the decision, or you can hang on for the decision and just mute yourself, whatever you'd like to do. end of the
I'll
meeting.
mute myself, and then when this item is complete, I'll thank you for your time, and I'll let you go to your business. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Alder Rodriguez has also joined us this evening. Thank you. Do we have Rebecca Corbett?
Yes. Hello.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hi,
State your name and address for the record, please.
my name is Rebecca Corbett. I live at 616 Winthrop Avenue in New Haven, Connecticut.
Thank you. And you are being appointed to the Affordable Housing Commission.
Correct.
And so I'd like to get your feeling as to what you feel you would bring to this committee.
Well, from what I understand,
It's a new committee.
right. I guess I was nominated or asked to be part of this because I've had a lot of different life experienced situations with renting, finding affordable housing, being a single mother with very young children, being homeless.
Mhm.
And it was never easy. I'm getting ready to retire now, and I still have the fear of not being able to hang on to my house. You know, from when you go through something like that, it stays with you,
Mhm.
and I think that I understand the need and the desperation for affordable housing for people who are looking for rents, even people that might even be able to afford the rents, let alone people that are probably on assistance and they're trying to find affordable housing because it's not easy. And my situation, I had 4 children. I thought I was going to be married forever. Things didn't work out that way. And I had no family. I had nobody to go home to. I had no grandmother on the other side of town. I didn't have aunts or uncles or brothers or sisters, or I was all by myself. It was frightening. So I don't know what I could offer to, I mean, I've just had an experience with, uh, the high rents, and I've had experience with LCI, and I think that we need more in the way of watchdog um, organizations for shoddy apartments, bad landlords, um, crooked landlords, and to light a fire under them when things are going wrong, and so things don't have to wind up where someone loses their apartment because a landlord's not doing their job.
Mhm.
So
Well,
that's
thank you.
it.
Your life experience is enough to understand the whole process and why it's so desperately needed. And
Right.
so, life experience to the Affordable Housing Commission is actually going to be a great asset because you can advocate for people who you've lived it, so you know it. And
Mhm.
so that's why it's important to have people who have lived it and know it and can lend their either good advice or find a different way to approach it. I
Mhm.
would like to acknowledge that Alder Hurd has also joined us. I'd also like to acknowledge that Alder Salvatore DeCola and Alder Gerald Antunes have also joined us this evening. Alder Yvette Hamilton, do you have any questions for Ms. Corbett?
Thank you, Chair Santana. Yeah, just a brief question and comment. Hi, Rebecca, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Um, yeah, I'm glad now. Are you going to be able to make the meetings? Will you make time for the meetings? Because we really could use your diverse knowledge and on
I
this
believe
committee.
I believe I will be. I'm actually on an e-board meeting also right now at the moment. So I'm in 2 meetings at the same time. But if we continue to do things by way of Zoom, I don't think I'll have a problem.
Right. Because I mean, I know you'll be a great asset to this commission because, like Chair Santana said, you've lived it, and you can give both sides of the coin because you've
Mhm.
come from homelessness to rental to now being a property owner. I know that personally because I know you as a long time colleague
Mhm.
in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So. Yeah, I know that you will be a plus to the committee, and thank you for just stepping up and being part of, being part of this. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Chair Santana. I'm good.
You're welcome. Alder Clyburn.
No, I don't, Madam Chair. Listening in, and she's naming some of the same things that I have gone through with some of my constituents. So I don't have any questions for her, but I believe she will be a great access to us. Access, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alder Rodriguez.
I have a lot of I have a lot of nice things to say about Miss Corbett. Miss Corbett, you're a tremendous mother. You support your son in so many community things and you go with him. And I think that could be an asset. But my question is, do you feel that your son will also support you in working in the affordable housing as you help him in terms of the work that you do for the rights of workers in the workplace and so many other things that I see you involved in? Do you think he will be with you also hand in hand? Thank you.
Rebecca, are you still there? Okay. Did you want to answer that question, Rebecca? Something must have happened to her microphone.
Still on, Chair?
She's trying to come back. Are you there? Can you hear us? Oh, there you are. Can you hear us now?
Tell her to click the top right bell on the left side, very top. Maybe that bell will help.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, how you shut this off, bro? Here, take this for now. This is your. They're on the phone with your mom, bro. What did we get? What did we get for hours today? 8.5, I guess. I don't know about that.
Okay, I'm hearing another conversation. Rebecca, can you hear me?
How many hours?
Rebecca, can you hear me?
I don't think she can hear you, Chair Santana.
I don't think so either. So unfortunately, we won't be able to ask her any more questions at this moment.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Rebecca? Yeah, she can't.
I'm wondering if she froze or something.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I froze. I didn't hear anything that anybody said.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were trying to listen.
Oh, okay.
To see if
She's
you'd come
back now.
Okay. So did you want to answer Alder Rodriguez's question?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, you
sorry.
didn't hear it?
No.
Alder Rodriguez asked if your son will be hand in hand with you working on this affordable housing campaign as you have been helping him in organizing and for workers in our communities.
My son is my big fan. He's gone through all of this with me. We very much all the time talk and communicate and give each other ideas. And I don't know if we'll be hand in hand, but I certainly would appreciate any of his input or any of his help or, any ideas that he might have. He's pretty smart. But yeah, I would imagine that he will be somewhat part of whatever I'm doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Hurt.
Can I go? I have my hand up. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I did not.
Yep.
Alder Marks, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to echo what a lot of you all are saying here. I know Rebecca pretty well, and I know her family. And I heard her story about, some of the things she talked about she's gone through. I mean, if there's any great candidate for this here position, I really believe that Rebecca will serve it well. She will definitely serve it well. She's been in the community, part of the community, and everything I seen her be part of, she has put her best, her effort into it, her heart into it. And for what this city needs, that's affordable housing. I would definitely give her a thumbs up and think she would be a great access to what we're trying to do here for the city of New Haven, affordable housing. So I know her son very well. And I know he's going to stand behind his mom and whatever he can do in that capacity anyway as well, to be the greatest that we can be for this here board that she's being part of if she's approved. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
evening,
Thank
Jay.
you. Alder Saban.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions at this time, but I have seen Rebecca speak a number of times, and I know about all of your advocacy across the city, and I'm glad to have you on this commission. I think that you're going to provide a very important and valuable voice. So thank you for offering your time to the city in this way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Hurt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I do apologize for being late, but I came right in on time with Rebecca Corbett. She said one thing that was very important that stood out to me for anyone who sits on this commission, and that is understand. She understands the plight that we have with affordable housing in this city. She understands all too well of being homeless, and she understands. And with this commission, you need not only minds, but you need people who understand life as it is right now. And I've been knowing Rebecca for a while now, and her family, lovely family, who have my heart. And I thank God that she can be candid and open about what she's experienced in her life. And that's going to bring a big asset to this commission. And I just want to commend her for sharing part of her story, one that I know personally because I've been through it myself, and understand all too well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Rebecca, I do know your son, Jess.
My claim to fame.
Your claim to fame. And I think I've met you once or twice,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yes.
But he speaks a lot about you and about your experiences and what he learned from you. So you will be an asset to this commission because of the fact that not only do we have, like Alder Hertz said, minds that can say what needs to be done, but we need people who have actually lived it and done it. And so we need the experiences as well. So I thank you for wanting to sit on this commission, and I think you would be a great asset to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, no other questions. We'll go on to Claudette Kidd. Is she available? We're all set with you, Rebecca. If you want to mute yourself and come back later to listen in on the discussion, that's fine.
Thank you.
Hi, Claudette. Claudette, can you hear us? Claudette, you need to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Could you state where'd you go?
I'm still
Oh,
here.
there you are. It was switched around on me. I couldn't see where you were. Claudette, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Claudette Kidd. My address is 187 Howard Avenue, New Haven, Connecticut.
Thank you. And you are also being appointed to the Affordable Housing Commission. And what do you feel you would bring to the table that would help us get this commission off the ground?
Like the lady previous to myself, I can bring the experience of being homeless and having to advocate for myself. At the beginning of the Housing Task Force, I was there from the very beginning and saw the process right through to the end, and saw how it grew and the demand and all the statements that had been made. And I had even testified about my experience that I had gone through after having a difficult relationship with relatives after my father died, and being put out onto the street and having to experience homelessness, from the hospital to a motel, to the shelter, and then 7 months in the shelter and what I had to go through. And not only that, people thinking that I wasn't homeless because they go by appearances, and you can't judge by appearances. You can't just assume that like all homeless people look a certain way or act a certain way. And I had to like prove to people that yes, I am homeless. You know, yes, I've had a professional education, I'm educated, and yes, it can happen to people like myself, you know. And I found that a lot of people related to that. And I kind of speak for those who don't have a voice. I had a lot of experience when I was taking classes, coming across the youth who were homeless, arriving at school like 7:30 as soon as the doors would open up, and going straight to find somewhere where they could lay down and sleep until classes started. And that started a discussion within the colleges as well. And I also work with Professor Zach at Southern Connecticut University when he does his poverty stimulations, and talk about homelessness there as well. I'm also an advocate with Mothers and Others for Justice. In fact, it was them that got me into the advocacy part. They had came to the shelter where I was staying and was talking about their meetings and what they're doing. And I thought to myself, yeah, this is something I could do, something where I could help and get involved. And that's exactly what I've done and continue to do to this day. Even seeking employment, I'm in a field where I'm working in the community with the community, and like getting information and listening and bringing information back to them. And as Alder Hurt had mentioned, the key is understanding, and not just understanding, you have to listen. And when like you have to gain that trust of people as well, that you're going to say what you're going to do, what you're going to say. You know, and I know there's a lot that has to be done, and things can happen where things may not always go the way it's supposed to, and you have to sort of like hit the drawing board again and start over. And I get that, and I'm willing to put in the effort. I'm proactive. I've stayed in touch with the city of New Haven, trying to find out when is the task force starting back up again, or not the task force, the housing committee. And this is where my efforts has got me today, like speaking to you and the rest of the members, just from not giving up and staying up to date with what's going on and wanting to do more for the community with affordable housing.
Thank you so much for that. And true life story, it's heartbreaking, but it also strengthens you and motivates you to do other things, to help more and to understand more and to sympathize with other people who are going through the same thing you are. I thank you.
Thank you so much.
Alder Hamilton.
Thank you, Chair Santana. Ms. Kidd, I don't really have any questions. It sounds like you're prepared. I can hear the dedication in the way you speak, because you're another person that it sounds like I've been there, done that, and I've lived it in all aspects. So you'll bring a well-rounded viewpoint, to the Affordable Housing Commission. And we just thank you for being willing to serve, and hope you can be there in attendance when needed, be it by Zoom or in person, right? We
most
can count on you.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Alder
much.
Clyburn.
I also thank you, Madam Chair. I thank you tonight for letting me just be here to hear this testimony tonight. And can you hear me, Madam Chair?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I believe that this woman would be great to speak why houses should be affordable for people, and really help them to understand when they're looking at dollars instead of looking at life, and knowing that everyone need a place to live and abide. So thank you.
Thank you. Alder
I
Saban.
don't have any questions.
Thank you. Alder Saban.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions, but as I said before, I think that you are going to add a very valuable perspective to our commission, and I'm grateful that you're willing to serve. Thank you.
Alder Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Kidd, for your interest in participating and being a member of this such important committee. I'm looking forward to seeing it in its fruition. You mentioned something that you're in the committee of Mothers Against. Can you just tell me a little bit about that?
It's Mothers and Others for Justice, and it's run through Christian Community Action. And what it is, it's we focus on real life issues that members want to focus on, and it may be health, it may be gun law, it may be housing, whatever it is. We bring in people to talk about those issues in a way where people can understand and get the information they need and get the questions answered that they need, and also to follow up on advocacy if they wish to do so. So there's many different avenues that they can take, but either way, they're leaving the meeting with some valuable information and resources that they can take away with them, follow up on, and be proactive with.
I thank you because you're in that group, but also because it seems that you're going to bring something interesting to the committee, which is the consciousness of the outcry of the mothers, and also the face of who the homeless really are.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be very significant. And it would be nice and it would be interesting to see how you think about all the individuals that are homeless, that are estranged in New Haven. The neighborhoods are estranged for them, but yet they're in our neighborhoods, and who their mothers are and who are their loved ones. And so it's going to be interesting to see what can be done through this beautiful commission that's forming. So I just want to say thank you for, I believe, what's going to be a great contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I'm willing to put in the work and the time.
Thank you.
Alder Hurd.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say I thank Ms. Kidd for the commitment that she has put forth to committing to this committee. I am looking forward to seeing what the outcome is going to be. I'm just excited about what's happening. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Alder Marks.
Yes, I just want to say, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say, like I said with Miss Rebecca, I was listening to your testimony about things you're going through, and it was just heartfelt to me. And I believe that there's no better person than someone that went through a, such time as, crisis and experience, the difficulties of, housing. And I think you can make it be the best as it can be as serving again, from your heart. And it means a lot when you've been there and done that and you want to step forward and make a change. So I think you will be a great access as well. And thank you for even wanting to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kidd. You can stay on in the mute position. You don't have to be on video Zoom. We will, after we hear our last person, we will make a discussion and make a decision at the end. So
Okay.
thank you. Is Ebony McLeese on the line?
Hello.
Hi, Ebony. Are you
Hi, how
able
are
to
you?
zoom in?
Yes, I'm in. You want video?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay, no problem. I just came outside for a second. Can you see? Wait, I think I stopped it again. Okay, there we go. Can you see me?
I can see you. Okay. Ebony, could you tell us your name and address for the record?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ebony McLeese, and my address is 131 Lloyd Street in New Haven.
Thank you. And what would be your experience in bringing to the commission that you feel you want to be part of?
So affordable housing in general for me has been a very interesting topic. I worked on the inaugural report that the city put out a couple of years ago under Dr. Asamoga before her departure when she led the Community Service Administration around the status of women and girls in New Haven. And one of the big pieces that came out of that was housing and equal access to housing. And so what I've learned over the past several years is that housing is really at the forefront of a lot of different issues. I've had a lot of different experiences that have lended to that where I've helped folks. So I am an educator in the city. I work at Wilbur Cross as a special education teacher. At one point I worked in judicial, and I'm an addiction counselor at the moment as well. And I work with adults and young and youth that are LGBTQ as well. And so what I'm starting to notice is everybody's problem is at a place where they have housing. And when you don't have your basic bottom need of security and safety, nothing else in your personal life can flourish in any given way. And so I find myself really advocating personally for those that I help, whether it be my students, whether it be my clients, whether it be those LGBTQ students that are put out, or just folks that can't find somewhere to go, that making it through this housing maze is sometimes really difficult. And so what I do think I bring is, although it's not personal experience from my own first person, I do bring it from working and helping other individuals. And I do have advocacy background. I work as the legislative coordinator for Connecticut for Amnesty International. And so I do lobbying at a federal and state level, and really want to get involved in my local politics and start to really look at how those experiences can help me shape where I'll probably be for the remainder of my life in the city that I love and I've grown up in. And so that's really where I think I'm coming from, that passion to want to help other individuals and the experiences that I've had and so many voices that I've heard outcry about not having the access they need to be safe, or even to find that access that they need to be safe, and then for it not to be in a reasonable income limit has been something that has stuck with me throughout the years.
Thank you. Alder Hamilton, any questions?
I'm on mute. Just a comment, Chair Santana. Ebony, thank you. Oh, thank you, Chair Santana. Ebony, one thing I heard in your voice, that rings true, that you said, which I think will be make you a very good asset to this commission, is understanding the need for housing. If a person does not have this simple basic thing as a comfortable or a roof over their heads, nothing in life goes forward without that need. And I don't have any question except to say I think you also will be a plus for the Affordable Housing Commission. Thank you, Chair Santana.
Thank you. Alder Marks.
Once again, thank you, Madam Chair, but listening to you again, I think you would be a great asset, something that we would need. Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Hurt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ebony, thank you for being here. In my past profession, I was a housing advocate for those living with the virus and had co-occurring disorders. In your studies and in your findings, given the recent pandemic that we have and the effect that it has on not just families, but individuals, where do you see the need in this in our community for, I know families are affected, but singles, individuals, men, women, and I'm glad that you said the LGBTQ community because they're suffering too. So where do you see the most need?
I mean, I think that the biggest need I'm starting to see is like that transient population of like that 18 to 24, especially when I think about the LGBTQ population, that 18 to 24 range is really hard because what ends up happening is nationally, they are the folks that are most affected by trafficking, right? So you're put out your house when you tell your parents, this is what I identify as, and then you have no other means to make money, right? And so now you have to figure out how to make money so that you can basically survive and that you can basically live. And so what you find is because there isn't anything affordable, especially younger folks find themselves doing things that they would otherwise not do. One of the things is like there's a lot of transitional housing, but there's no after step for folks when they leave that transitional piece. And so there has to be a way to bridge the gap for those folks where you leave the transitional area, you need that time frame to get yourself on your feet, and then you can actually sustain and continue housing. And that's just pretty much with any population. New Haven is really good about having resources and hubbing folks for the short term, but it's really important how do we link it to the long term where it becomes sustainable in a process where folks can be self-sufficient rather than relying on necessarily the resources that so many need.
Thank you. I find that we can get people into housing, but sustainability is where we need to focus on. So thank you very much, Ebony.
Thank you. Alder Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
My questions have been answered. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Alder Clyburn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think Ebony will be great.
Thank you. Alder Sabin.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Ebony, for being here. It sounds like you have a wealth of experience and knowledge about the issues relevant to this commission, and I think you're going to be an asset to the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ebony, for joining us, and thank you for willing to sit on this Affordable Housing Commission that is so important to our community. And you know, with these appointments, hopefully we can get this commission off the ground and start working. So thank you for your willingness to want to participate.
Thank you so much for the time and the consideration.
Thank you. Okay, you can mute yourself or stay on. We will discuss our discussion of what the outcome will be. So you can mute yourself. The last one, number 5, Norman Forrester, is a reappointment. He has had excellent time on his committee. He has maintained all of his records. So we did not see a need for him to appear this evening. So we'll just make a motion when we make a motion that we do reappoint him. There was no need for him to appear because he had an excellent track record at his attendance. And that's key to keeping people on the committees. So thank you. I entertain a motion now. Alder Saban,
I make a motion that we move items 1 through 5.
I second.
thank you, Joe. Alder Marks, all in favor of all 5 items?
Excuse me, we just
Yes.
need to close the public portion.
Oh, thank you. I am so sorry.
Apologies. I make a motion to close
Forgot.
the public portion.
I
Second.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. No opposed? Okay, the motion carries. I apologize for that. I should have done that first. Okay. Alder Saban, could you repeat your question?
I make a motion to move items 1 through 5.
I
Second.
second the motion.
Okay. All in favor of moving the items? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Against? The motion carries. Alder Saban,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second,
well, no, we moved it, but we have to approve them.
Discussion.
Yes,
second,
for discussion.
Discussion.
Yes, we have to have discussion.
oh, on the
August second.
item, 1 through
Yes.
5?
Yeah.
Okay.
well, we can approve them and discuss whatever you'd like to do, but we have to do something. We just can't move it without doing something. So we need discussion. Yes, Alder Hamilton. Alder,
Thank you, thank you, Chair Santana and committee. I feel that the members that have come before us for the Affordable Housing Commission were really, really positive candidates. Everybody had a story to tell, which made them an asset to the Affordable Housing Commission. And I'm in favor of approving everyone that we've heard so far this evening.
Thank you.
Personally, thank you, ma'am.
further discussion.
Yes, Madam President.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Alder
Okay.
Marks.
Yes, I also think that we had a good number of people that came before us, and just excited. This is a new board. It's something that, like I said before, our city definitely needs, and I think everyone will step up and do what they're supposed to, so we can have just a great committee for our affordable housing. So I'm all in favor of who we nominate on tonight.
Thank you. Alder Rodriguez. Alder Rodriguez, you want a discussion? I think she's frozen. Alder Hurt, did you want to discuss anything?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am in favor of every candidate that came before us on this evening. I am elated that this is about to happen, and much needed within our city.
Okay.
And a lot of our constituents are dealing with affordable housing issues right now as we speak, even before the pandemic hit us. So I think this is really key to our community, to our city. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. I don't think there's anyone in the community that wants to speak. I didn't even ask. No. Okay. So seeing that there's no further discussion, Alder Saban.
Am I making a motion to approve the nominees?
Yes.
I move that we approve the nominees.
Second.
Okay. All in favor of approving the nominations?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, abstentions, the motion carries. Now, Alder Saban.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Thank you. And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you
Good
so
night,
much for
everyone.
joining.
Good night.
We are adjourned.